Hey friends, what's up? Welcome into my channel. My name is Jackie Alves, and today we're going to be talking about some lovely pinks and beautiful peaches, and just a great way to get a beautiful, overall lovely look, some lifted cheeks, a sculpted jawline, and some great new products I've been loving. So please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to check out the members only area that you can join for like $2.99 a month, and stick around. We're going to have a great time today. Okay, I've already done some great skincare this morning. Of course, washed my face, used a toner, but today I used a lightweight moisturizer. This one is by my friends over at Lime Life. It's a really beautiful, lightweight, almost like a gel formula moisturizer. So if you have issues with your makeup getting really shiny or feeling like it's sliding around, you want to try something maybe a little bit more lightweight. And this is called the Cool Balm. This is made up of a ton of different like botanical ingredients. It just feels really lightweight on the skin. My sister, who lives in Vegas, hates really heavy moisturizers, and so this works great for her, but it also looks beautiful under makeup, and I use it a lot here on my clients at the beauty bar as well. So now we're going to go into a little bit of primer, and I'm going to use this weird Maybelline grippy primer that I've really been liking lately. I used it on a few clients recently, and it keeps that makeup from sliding. If you experience any of that, a gripping primer might be your new friend. This one has niacinamide in it, which is great for, it helps with redness, uneven skin tone. So let's slap a little bit of that on, if I can get some in this crazy thing. I'm just going to use a tiny bit, especially with a gripping primer. I don't like to get too much on. And the thing is, go fast, because pretty soon it starts to grip. And you don't want to get stuck where it's sticky. All right, so just down to my chest a little bit, because the red chest, I'm going to put some foundation on that. And you can see how I get that circulation going in my face. Look how red I get, but it's all going to tone down and it's going to look amazing. Okay, now for foundation, powder, and my concealer. Today I'm going to use my favorite combo. I like to use products that work well together because there's something called synergy. Formulas work well together, certain brands or ingredients work well together. You know how you like to have the same shampoo and conditioner sometimes, right? It's not just because the bottles match, but sometimes it's because they're made to go together. So today I'm going to use my favorite Lime Life Cream foundation. This is called Perfect Foundation, and this is in the shade 105N, I believe, but I will link it in the comments or in the description below for you with the correct one, because I always forget what number it is, so I'll make sure that's linked for you. But I want to show you, it's a great neutral shade, but you know how we always, wait, let me grab my spatula. You know how we always have things like this and we'll just dip our brushes in it? I recently discovered that I was getting I felt like there was some lint on top of it, probably like maybe dust in my brush or something like that. And I thought, I'm going to stop doing that, because then that's going right on my face. And then I'm wondering why my foundation looks like it's separating, or it just doesn't look as good, right? So I thought I cleaned off the top, and I'm going to use my spatula like I do with clients when I use my other testers, and I take it out of the actual pot and I use the back of my hand or a palette for sanitary reasons. And I thought, well, why wouldn't I do that for my own self? It's not just about germs. It's also about keeping your product fresh, right? So I'm just going to grab a little bit right out of the palette, and I'm going to put it on the back of my hand. Now, the reason why I like to use the back of my hand is because it warms up the product. And with these really great cream foundations, it's good to get it warmed up because it will apply beautifully then. So I'll go ahead and use one of my Real Techniques foundation brushes. And I'll start applying right in the middle. Let me come close for you so you can see how beautifully that just starts to correct all the redness. And I do like to start right in the middle with my foundation. Then I begin to buff it out towards the outer perimeters, right in the middle here where I've got all the redness on my chin. And then I'll just use a tiny bit on my chest to really even that out. We're even gonna do a really cute updo. As soon as I'm done with makeup, I'm gonna do a super quick twisted updo, and you're gonna love how fast that's gonna go, because this is I think day 3 of not washing my hair. I don't like to wash my hair every day, but usually on day 3, it's okay, you know, we got to deal with this. So once in a while, I'll do an updo on day 3 because it's like, it's time to slap it up. All right, I'm going to continue with this foundation application. Look how beautiful that's evening out. And the application is so pretty and it feels so lightweight. But I'll go ahead, continue with this, and we'll be right back to powder. All right, that is a beautiful, like, even coverage. It's looking fantastic. I was able to even out the redness in my chest, praise the Lord. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of my favorite powder. This is a great translucent powder. This is also by Lime Life. So this goes with that foundation and the concealer I'm gonna show you. And this will be linked as well with the concealer, you guys, because if you get all 3 of them together, it comes with a cute little travel brush and a little bag to put everything in. Just a really great set, and it's a really great deal too if you get all 3 of them together, and you're gonna love them. But something I want you to notice is I didn't put any concealer under my eyes yet. I don't have anything under there. Even when I was putting on the foundation, I was just buffing real close, but I didn't get directly under my eyes because we're gonna go back and do concealer later. Now this is, you know, one of the things that I will probably always stick to. You know, we can vary, you know, if you like to do eyeshadow first or brows first or whatever, because it's a form of art. Makeup is art, and it's what you love to do with your face and your routine. But I do find that waiting till later with that concealer can help me avoid a lot of mistakes. So like if I get fallout from the eyeshadow or poke myself with my mascara or something and mess up down here, I don't mess up all that concealer. I can go back and clean it up later and then brighten and sculpt my eyeshadow. So it just works best for me and for what I do for my clients here. If I wait until later, just saying. So I've got a great layer of powder on, and remember that was a translucent powder, and it's beautiful with any skin tone. And it really does just buff and matte that beautifully, but still allows for a pretty glow. So it's not like that really super matte it just has that loss of glow. It's like a loss of life kind of mattifying thing that some women they want to be super matte. This allows for your skin to glow a little bit. So it's very lovely. So now I'm going to do a little bit of contour. And you know, I have my Beauty Bar products here at the Beauty Bar where I work. But this one is the light palette. So I typically use my deep contour palette, but this one has a nice light neutral and then a darker still neutral. So you've got a couple great shades, and then you've got a very deep here. So that's what I suggest when you're looking for contour is look for something that's more on the neutral side if you don't like all the orange. Now, if you're doing bronzer, that's a little bit different because, you know, bronze is bronze. But with contour, I like to try to stay neutral. It's not easy because almost always they've got orange in them, but I try to stay neutral when possible. So I'm taking that lighter brown with my fan brush here, and you can use whatever kind of brush you like. I use lots of different brushes for contouring. But this is going to be just a lightweight contour, nothing super sculpted, because this is going to be just a really pretty pink look. But I didn't even get to tell you why I'm practicing this look. I'm going to be speaking at a women's conference this weekend, here in just a couple of days, and it is called Hearts Being Healed, an incredible conference for women. And I am the keynote speaker this year, and I'm going to be sharing my testimony. It ties in with that I've been sober for 13 years. Yes, praise the Lord. But after I got sober, I met my husband. And, you know, of course, I thought because, you know, I love Jesus, I got saved, now I'm sober, everything's going to be wonderful and amazing, when in fact, we had some challenges. So I'm going to be talking about that. The title of it is One Flesh, for Better or for Worse, with a question mark. And you guys know that I love Mr. Alves, but we have been through a lot, and praise the Lord. He had a toxic brain injury 1 year after we were married. It happened at work, and it really altered his personality and the way that he thought. He had a really hard time for a long time. And I stuck around instead of running like a chicken with my head cut off like I used to do back in the day, and allowed God to move and lead and guide us through it. And I gotta tell you, there's some good stuff happening in my marriage today. God is good and he is faithful. So that's what I'm gonna be talking about this weekend. But I also wanna look nice on stage. So here we go. So I'm swapping over to this deeper brown here, just to add a little bit of a punch. So I like to start with those lighter shades first and really get that symmetry, get my features kind of evened out, and then go back with the darker one to add that extra punch. I usually don't start with the darkest shade, not even on my clients, because it's like, you know, it just, it'll be there. And then it's dark, right? And then you got to buff like crazy. But if you start light and build up, sometimes it's easier that way. Now, if it's your own face and you know where you're putting all this stuff, maybe it's not hard for you, and that's cool. You're like, yeah, I've mastered my face. I know my things. Totally cool, friends. Now, I want you to notice something as I contour. Remember, I told you we were gonna show you how to kind of sculpt my jaw just a little bit. I'm taking that darker shade, and because this is rounded, I got this from, that brush set called Daily Queen. I got this on Amazon. It comes in a giant set, and it's very affordable, you guys. These are great brushes. But what I'm doing is coming right here, see, and here. So what's happening is it's helping sculpt where I have a little baby jowl right here. And if you have more than a baby jowl, if you have like, you know, the mothership of all jowls, then contouring a little bit on them will help push them away from the attention. See, if you brighten things like my chin here, it brings it to the attention. So a little bit of shadowing, you don't even have to call it contouring. It's like shadowing, like remember 7th grade art class when you would shadow the fence and talk about where the sun was and all that? So that's kind of the same concept. Let's get into some blush now. Now in this light palette, I have a beautiful light pink blush, and the orange here is more of a peach. I'm actually gonna mix them together, and I know you've seen me do this a lot of times because I love this. I'm gonna use a little bit of orange right on top of my contour. And I'll do the other side. See, I just do this kind of popping and plopping motion. Tapping and patting, whatever you want to call it. Pop, lock, breaking. Oh God, do you guys remember that weird movie? What was it called? Breakin'? Electric Boogaloo? Oh my God. All right, let's show a clip. You guys remember? Okay, if you remember that movie, please comment and let me know if you liked it or if you hated it. I loved it back in the day, and I watched it recently, like some clips from it, and I was like, that was the lamest movie in the world. But it was so good back then. I think it was like probably 84 when that came out. Okay, now I'm gonna take the pink and I'm gonna pop it right on top of the orange. So what's happening is I've got a sunset blush. It's lovely. And I like that it's easy with the powder as well. I do cream sometimes, but you guys, when I see the girls on social media and they've got a brown, a white, a pink, a brown, an orange, a white, a brown, a pink, a white, and brown stripe, I'm just like, I can't handle it. It makes me crazy. And then they're just like hitting themselves with the sponge. And I'm like, it's just all blending together. What? It's okay. I mean, whatever. This is the channel of no rules. And if you have your own makeup routine, you have no rules. It's fine. But it doesn't stop me from looking at it going, whoa. All right, let's get into some eyeshadow. And I'm going to stick with this really pretty kind of pink thing I've got going on. And I'm going to use the Sigma palette. This is by Sigma Beauty. I know you can't read it because it's so shiny, but I promise it says Sigma right there. But the name of the palette is Spectrum. So this is the Sigma Spectrum palette. I don't have a link for this one, but you can just hop over to their website at sigmabeauty.com, and they have some beautiful brushes and eyeshadow palettes. I just really love them. So first I'm going to use this really light cream colored matte eyeshadow, and look at the pop of pigment on that one. Really bright and beautiful. The Sigma eyeshadows really do carry a punch. They've got a lot of great color in them. Let's hop to the other side. And this is going to be kind of a simple eyeshadow. because on stage I'm gonna, of course, be wearing my glasses, but I'm gonna play up my lips a little bit more. So now there's another shade over here that's a beautiful pink shade. It's kind of a salmon color. Not that I think salmon is beautiful, but I do like the color of salmon. Salmon are not pretty. Well, I don't know. You could think a fish was pretty. I don't know. That's up to you. Let me know in the comments if you think salmon are beautiful. All right, and you can see I'm just doing the good old windshield wiper method with a big fat crease brush. And these brushes are by MOTD, really, really great brush company. I recently was kind of reunited with them. I'd used them before, but kind of forgot about them because there's so many products. But at that makeup masterclass I took in Vegas, these came in our kit. And I was like, I love these brushes. I totally forgot. They're so well made. All right. Bring it up towards your brow a little further than you think. Remember, I always talk about that. If you've got some hooded lids like I do, bring your eyeshadow up further than you think. And I know there are women out there that will say, you don't have hooded lids. It's okay. It doesn't matter if you think I have hooded lids or not. The point is, bring your eyeshadow up further than you think. That would be the point. So bringing it up, because the thing is, it disappears when you open your eye. You're like, putting in a little eyeshadow, right? And you open your eye and you're like, oh, it disappeared. Why do I bother? Well, because you got to bring it up, closer to the eyebrow than you think. See? Even this one, it's got to come up higher. Ta-da! Now I'm going to get a little tiny bit smaller crease brush. Same brand though. And I want to use this, like, it's a really deep chocolate color, but it's got some red in it. So it's going to go with this beautiful pink theme. It's like a cocoa, sort of. And up into the crease. It's not a neutral brown, so it's going to go really well with this. And see, I'm really sculpting out that outer corner. Blending it up slightly. Have it disappear. And now I'll take the other brush, just to use as a blender. Lovely. It's looking really good. I'm going to deepen that up just a little bit. All right, I've swapped over to the other side. And just using the same technique to bring that in. And really just flanking those outer corners. And trying to bring some more dimension in and a little bit of depth to add to the crease of the eye. So I'm creating the look of a deeper crease. That's what works so great with like a hooded lid, is you are adding that depth in there, sort of like a contour technique. And with a smaller brush, a little tiny smudger, I'm gonna go back to that deepest shade that I've been using. It's really, it's kind of a weird berry eyeshadow, which I'm not a fan of like berry eyeshadow, but I don't know how else to describe this. It's called Double Espresso is the name of it, but it does have a level of redness to it. So there we have it. But I'm gonna take this darker shade right underneath. And it's adding quite a bit of definition there because I've got it kind of fat on the outer corner. And it's actually making my eye look much larger. But also, you know, if I got out of control and put too much, it's not a big deal because I didn't do concealer yet. Remember, I can swipe it and clean it up. All right, I'm gonna go back with a little bit deeper shade, the one next to it. It's called Peppercorn. It's almost like a black. I'm kind of mixing it with the Double Espresso, like just mixing them around. I'm all full of sound effects today, you guys. My husband's the same way. He's always making weird sound effect noises. I don't know if you guys have that thing with your husbands. I mean, he's a super fun dude, but he's always got sound effects going on. This morning, he was here at the beauty bar fixing, I have a little, like a bar across this other wall where the students work. And he was like putting some shims under it and shoring it up and doing some handyman work. And he's over there making all kinds of noises and singing, sitting underneath it, fixing it. He cracked me up so bad I had to double over. You know, of course, that classic middle-aged woman thing, so you don't pee your pants, you gotta bend over. But I was like bent over cackling at him. He's such a goofball. He makes my days brighter. I love goofballs. All right, so now I'm gonna go into some eyeliner, but I wanna start with just a pencil eyeliner, and then I'm gonna use a liquid eyeliner to make a nice little sharp wing. All right, you can tell I mean business because I have swapped over to the magnifying mirror. It is on. So I have a great pencil liner here. This is also by Lime Life. And this one has a black end and a nude end. You can get just black if you prefer as well. But I like the nude to go into the waterline here and the black for the top. But it's a gel pencil, so it's really smudge proof. I love it. And pretty transfer proof too. I haven't had any problems with it going to my upper lid at all. So I'm just going to line right at the lash line here. And just scooting it right along the lashes. Smudging it out is always a good idea if you're like me and you don't get it straight. And now I'm just doing a little bit of a fat triangle here. I'm not worried about getting it perfectly cornered or, you know, making it look super great. I'm gonna smudge it with that same smudger I used underneath. Just to make it kind of smoky. But I'm not smudging it too hard. I don't wanna remove a bunch of it. I just wanted to make it smoky. And now I can go in with a liquid eyeliner. This one is more like a Sharpie, but you can use any kind that you like. And you don't have to do this part. If you're satisfied with the way that this looks and you're like, I ain't doing all that work, then don't do all the work. I just wanted to make a little bit longer line because I want the line to stand out more. If I'm on stage, I like to elongate my eyes, make them look a little bit bigger and darker. You know, your features need to be a little more noticeable. All right, let's go. Super, super sharp triangle right there. And then make it go straight into your lashes and disappear. Ta-da! So see, the pencil did the work of, you know, getting along my lashes. So that saved me right there. But then this created that beautiful sharp edge that I wanted. And it's not perfect, but you know what? I don't care. It looks great, and anybody who's just, you know, looking at me, having a conversation with me is gonna think, oh, that looks super pretty. And see, I've got some fallout right here, and no big deal because I get to clean that up with concealer. So you've got room to work, to make mistakes, and go back later and sharpen and brighten and make it look amazing. Okay, I finished up the other eye. I completed my brows with just a little bit of brow powder right on top of that permanent makeup that I have. And now I'm gonna do some mascara. This is my favorite tubing mascara. This one's called Tunnel Vision. And I will link this as well in the description. But I am finding that this stuff is super stay put. It really fattens my lashes. And it's easy to work with. So, you know, that's always a bonus. Start at the root, pull to the tip, and then just spread them out. This mascara works so good. I hardly have to wear falsies, you know, unless of course it's a stage look or photos or something. I really don't have to do falsies much anymore. And I mean, I do have a decent amount of lashes to begin with. I'm not saying I don't have lashes and these are like, this is a magic mascara that gives you lashes, but it does absolutely fatten my lashes to the point that they are so noticeable and beautiful that I'm really foregoing those falsies sometimes. All right, let's get some more of this on and do some brightening with some concealer. Okay, one of my favorite parts is this concealer. So this will come with the foundation, powder, and concealer set I told you about. The set is called Game Set Match. So if you're looking for it on the website, you can find it all together, and then you just choose your shades. But this is concealer number 01. And if you are about my shade or lighter, this will work for you. If you're deeper, you may want to swap to maybe number 3. But I like this one because it's got so much pink in it. It is so dang brightening, you guys. And this formula has niacinamide and caffeine in it. So, you know, I'm always adding caffeine serum to my concealer, but this already has the caffeine in it. And that's great because it really wakes up your eyes. Caffeine is great for our skin, just like it is for our bloodstream in the morning. It gets us woken up, right? So check that out. Slice and clean up. Now, if I would have had a bunch of fallout, maybe I would have used like a makeup remover wipe underneath, but I just had a little bit. And softening it up. Gently bringing it down into the blush, but gently. Because I've just put a little bit. You guys saw I haven't even used all of it that I put on the back of my hand. Sometimes I see women use double that, and I'm just like, holy moly. And then you wonder why it's creasing. All right, slice it up. And just, there it goes, just rising right up. And now that just made me think of a song. Rising up, back on the street. Took my time, took my chances. Now I've got the eye of the tiger all day long. It's a good thing to have when you're going to be speaking at a conference. You got to stay focused. You got to have the eye of the tiger. I had some of the young ladies in the high school class that I was teaching. I teach makeup to a local aesthetics program, and it's a high school aesthetics program, and they were asking me if I was nervous about speaking in public, and I said, no, I'm not nervous about how many people are going to be listening. The thing that makes me nervous when I am speaking is that I'm going to forget important stuff. That always happens to me. Like, I get off the stage and I'm like, oh, I forgot this point and this point. That always makes me nervous. But then I also said, you know, nervous and excited feel the same way in your stomach. So if you're nervous, just turn it around and say you're excited, because that's a positive, right? I don't know. That's what I've been doing for years. Now I'm going to take my blush brush and do that back blending that I always do. And at this point, if you felt like you needed more blush, you just add a little more in right here. But look how stinking fantastic that concealer is under. It's so brightening, you guys. I love, love, love this concealer. And I don't have problems with it creasing. Of course, my skin creases. I will see some little lines later in the day, of course. But it doesn't settle into lines. It looks beautiful all day. I'm telling you, this is my favorite concealer. I had carried my own brand of concealer here at the Beauty Bar. It's called the Beauty Bar brand concealer, and I actually quit carrying it to carry this concealer. It's that incredible. So this was number 01. You can get it by itself, or you can get it in the bundle of Game Set Match with the foundation and powder and little brush I told you about. And it's a great deal. So check that one out. Let's hop into lips, and you're gonna love it. All right, overlining with a mauve lip liner. The shade is actually called Rosewood, but you can see it's a really mauve-y shade. And you can tell it's a favorite because it's almost gone. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead and sharpen it one last time probably. So get ready to say farewell, but I'm gonna go ahead and sharpen it. All right, getting it good and sharp really helps get it in those lines. I always say to get it in the speed bumps, you've gotta have a good sharp liner. And making quite a few passes there. And that actually helps it last longer too, if you just do a few extra layers of that lip liner. Now I'm gonna use a nude lipstick. You guys, I've used this one probably in the last 2 or 3 videos I've done and quite a few Facebook Lives. This one is called Be Positive, and it's a beautiful nude shade. I absolutely love it with a pink liner or with a brown liner. It just kind of takes on the shade of lip liner that you use. It's number 109, and I'll link it in the description as well. See, isn't that pretty? And it's not like overly pink, because I'm not really a fan of like fuchsia lipstick on myself. And you gotta be careful of that. I'm gonna put a gloss over the top. This one's called Wish. Isn't that a pretty tube? Any kind of bling, I'm a huge fan. But this one's just like a really sheer pink. It doesn't add a lot. Actually, it doesn't add hardly any color at all, which I like. But I do like that extra shine and extra moisture on my lips, especially when I'm gonna be speaking for like ever. I need to have some moist lips. All right, let me check this out. I think I want to add just a little bit more blush before we set it. And a tiny bit of this shimmery highlighter. I got some on the tip of my nose, and I'll do the highest points of my cheeks real quick. I don't always use a highlighter, but when I do, I like to do the top of my cheekbone and the tip of my nose just a little bit. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and set really quick. I will use the Laura Geller again. I love this one. It's the Spackle Mist, silly name. But I like that it's such a fine mist. It doesn't blow your makeup off your face. And it smells amazing. It's like a powdery, tropical, I don't know. It's like vacation in a bottle. But it has electrolytes in it. So somehow I'm convinced that's good for my skin and keeps my makeup looking fresh all day. All right, let's do some hair and slap on some earrings and see if we can pull this crazy look all together. All right, starting from scratch here with the crazy 3-day-old hair, which I don't know, for 3 days old, it's not horrendous, but I do want to put it up today. So I do have some dry shampoo in the roots that of course is going to help with the volume and that just, you know, lovely thinning hairline that I have. Let's bring some pieces out, and then I'm just going to pull it up. And I have the craziest clip here. It's one of those metal ones, and it does not play. It can hold anything. You know, sometimes you get those little clips and it's like you can just tell it's gonna fall right out. You can feel it. But that metal clip, I swear it can hold anything up. All right, I can feel it's a little too tight right here. There we go. Not bad for a quickie little updo, huh? All right, gotta cover that forehead or I'm gonna spray my whole forehead. Woo! Got the big sexy. Okay. Some earrings. I just have some little silver ones. Oh, and you know what? Probably for the conference, I'm gonna wear false lashes just to add that extra depth, but I wanted you to be able to see this pretty kind of pink look today in just a real normal way that you could execute it as well, and your choice of lashes or not, because I know a lot of us struggle with getting those crazy lashes on. It's not that easy. But with a good mascara, sometimes you can get away with it, right? Okay, let me do a teeth check. Yes, I love this look. What do you guys think? I feel really pretty. I always feel pretty in pink, and no, I'm not gonna sing the song, but I do. I feel really pretty today. I love pink. I feel like it gives me like this beautiful kind of blushing look. My husband loves pink on me, so I'm really happy with the way this turned out. I feel very confident, and if I can get this hair out of my mouth, it would be even better. You guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today here on my channel. I hope that you give some of these tips and tricks a try. I hope that you give some of the products a try. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to check out the members only area. And I just want to give a special thanks to my beauty bestie and some of our members and some of our level 2 members. So you can see we've got lots of levels to choose from here on my channel. So have a beautiful rest of your day. Please know that I love and appreciate you, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.